I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Ascension Parish Council, Thursday, September 17th, to order, please. Our invocation tonight would be led by Randall Aldridge, LSU Letterman, 72 to 75.
EA graduate.
SEC champ. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this opportunity to assemble. Thank you for the presence of everyone in this building today, especially that of Coach Paul Maneri and his graduate assistant, Buzzy Idell. We want to thank you for the fact that not only do they exceed in baseball, but they exceed in preaching your lessons every day by the way they act. They are great examples of Christian leadership, and we thank you for that. At this time, I want to ask a special blessing upon Parish President Tommy Martinez, his administrative staff, and all of our 11 councilmen. I want to thank you for their dedication and hard work and acknowledge the fact of the many countless hours that they spend away from their families trying to make this parish a better place. We ask you to send a special grace down upon them that they may be able to toil long and hard as they do and continue to do so we can be a better place. We ask all these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Randall. Our pledge tonight will be led by our own Buzzy Idell, member of the national champion LSU baseball team.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Buzzy. We now have a little bit different agenda tonight. We have a special treat. Miss Pam Gotro from Lakeside, would you bring your kids up, please, ma'am? Before Pam starts, I'll tell you a little history of this. President Martinez and I was at school dedications this past weekend. And at Lakeside Elementary, these kids put on what you're fixing to witness. And I just said, you're coming to the council. So go ahead, Pam.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just the worries and the strife. I thank my God above to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom. They can't take that away. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, God bless the
Pam, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, I just would like to thank you so much for letting us come here tonight and sing for you. I know that my kids really, really enjoyed it, and I just feel so honored and proud to be able to sing with them tonight and to represent Lakeside and Miss Embry. So thank you so much.
We thank you very much. It was quite a treat. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Suzanne. All present with the exception of Councilman Benny Johnson, who is at work. I don't have any chair additions. Public comment period. If you wish to speak on any item on the agenda, please sign in. You'll be allotted 3 minutes. Next, we get to our presentation part of our agenda. President Martinez.
Well, certainly, it's about the third time I've heard the song, Miss Gotro, with your class, and every time it's just so inspirational, and it did a great job. And Miss Wilson, we want to thank Miss Wilson for allowing y'all to be here tonight, and hopefully y'all get a day off this week. So. Well, it's my honor and my privilege tonight to have a special guest here in Ascension Parish, Coach Paul Maneri, and of course one of our native sons, Mr. Buzzy Idell. Ascension Parish has been a hotbed for LSU baseball and LSU sports in recent years. I can name a few, I'll probably forget some, but we had Greg Patterson, Andy Sheets, Jason Williams. So, you know, we want you to keep coming down here. And, you know, it's been a special week for us. We had the governor here yesterday honoring our veterans, and tonight we have you here. And as I told you, I can see the governor anytime, but I'm proud to have you. Anyway, we want to do something special for you. We want to proclaim today in Ascension Parish Paul Maneri Day. When we were outside, he said, "I don't have a tie." I said, "Well, it's your day today." You can say today is no tie day in Ascension Parish. I guess that's what we're going to do. But
I got that.
we certainly want to thank you for taking time with some of our young people here in Ascension Parish tonight, signing autographs and stuff. So you're always welcome. Next time we'll make you an honorary parish president. Proclamation to proclaim September 17th, Coach Paul Maneri Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Coach Paul Maneri led the LSU Fighting Tigers to the College World Series title in June of this year. Their 6th NCAA baseball championship overall, and first since 2000, making LSU just the 3rd program in NCAA history to win 6 or more College World Series titles. And whereas he has won nearly 1,000 games in his illustrious career as head coach at LSU, Notre Dame, Air Force, and St. Thomas. And whereas he has restored pride and his championship spirit in the LSU baseball program in just 3 short years, leading the Tigers to a national title, 2 College World Series appearances, an SEC title, and 2 SEC tournament titles. And whereas he has been justly honored as National Coach of the Year in 2008 and 9, as well as Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year in 2009. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of Ascension Parish, State of Louisiana, by virtue of the authority vested in me to hear and to proclaim September 17, 2009, as Coach Paul Maneri Day in Ascension Parish, and urge my fellow citizens to observe this date and to honor our nation's #1 baseball coach. With that, we also want to honor you with the key to the parish. Sheriffs, I don't know if the sheriff's still here, but deputies here. Check this back. Fits the jail. Thank you, Coach. No, thank you so much. Thank you. You want me to play it?
Please sit down, everybody, please. Wow. Well, I'd just like to take a second to thank everybody for this wonderful honor. And it is truly that. It's a tremendous honor. But I will accept this day, but I wish we would have changed the name, not to Paul Maneri Day, but to the LSU Tiger Baseball Team Day, because this really was an accomplishment by a group of wonderful, wonderful young men. And, you know, as the head coach, you get a little bit of credit on occasion. Once in a while, a little bit of the blame when things don't go well also. But really, it's the result of a wonderful group of young men. And one in particular, who has been mentioned several times and did an outstanding job in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Buzzy Heidel. You know, it's a bittersweet time for me, and I'll tell you why. We won the national championship this last year, and that was an amazing accomplishment. Really, we won every championship that we could possibly win last year. We won the SEC West, the SEC regular season, the SEC tournament. Then we won the regional, the super regional, and then the national championship. We did about everything that a team could possibly do. And as I met with the team the day after we got back, and I looked around the room and I realized that it was going to be the last time that I had that team together, it dawned on me, and it kind of became a little bit bittersweet, because I realized that at that time we would never have this team together under the same conditions that we had been through for several months. And when I looked at Buzzy, I realized that Buzzy would never play for me again. But Buzzy didn't go too far, because he still had a little bit of schooling left. So I asked him to join our coaching staff as an undergraduate coach so that he could spend one more year with us wearing the purple and gold. And now he can lead us to a national championship in a different capacity as a coach. And he's a young man that everybody in this parish should be very, very proud of. I'll tell you, coaching him for the last 3 years has been a tremendous honor. It's been something that I'll always cherish. I'm going to miss him terribly when he's not with me every day. But we still have one more year together, and although it be in a different capacity, I know he's going to make tremendous contributions. So you have much to be proud of with that young man. Let me say this. Being the baseball coach at LSU is a tremendous honor, and it has been for 3 years. I fell in love with this school. I fell in love with this state many years ago when I came here as a freshman in the fall of 1975. Randall Aldridge, who has become a good friend, graduated the year before I arrived at LSU. He wore number 24, and I inherited his number 24 as a freshman. Randall played left field, and guess who became the left fielder after he graduated also? So that's our little bond together, and I'm very proud of that aspect. But I'm especially proud now to have returned as the coach. And every day I pull that uniform on over my head, and I look down and I see Tigers or LSU across my chest. I just beam with pride. But I can tell you that this summer, as people would introduce me to speaking engagements around the area, it was a little different. They used to introduce me as the head baseball coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers. Now I'm introduced as the head baseball coach of the national champion LSU Fighting Tigers, and I can tell you that even sounds a lot better. So although I've had a lot of pride for these last 3 years, I think this summer has even made it a little bit sweeter. We will continue to work hard, and hopefully we can be back here next year for another day. And next year, nobody wears ties when I arrive, okay? All right. But thank you to the entire council for this tremendous honor. I've made a lot of good friends here over in the Gonzales area, and hope to be invited back several times again so that we can continue to develop and renew friendships. And I'm just very, very moved and very honored to accept this tremendous accolade, and it'll be something I'll treasure always. Thank you for having me. Oh, and before I go, can I just compliment what an outstanding job by these kids. I'll tell you, that fires me up. You guys are awesome.
Hey, buddy, we have good for you.
I was just kidding about naming it after somebody
Well,
else.
we didn't take it. We didn't take it.
We'll amend the motion.
But we will. But on behalf of myself and the council, I want to award you with this certificate of excellence. says the Parish of Ascension is honored to present this certificate to Buzzy Idell for his pivotal helping the LSU Fighting Tigers win the 2009 College World Series. We join with Councilman Chairman Pat Bell and the entire Parish Council in saying that you have made us all very proud, and our best wishes to you as you begin your coaching career. Go Tigers. Thank you, Buzzy.
I'll just say real quick, you know, it's I know Coach said it's special to come down here, but it's you know, definitely more special for me to come down to my hometown and you know, see a lot of different people and a lot of, like you said, see the friendships again. But just thank you so much for the certificate, and thank you for having me. It's always good to come back home, and I'll be a Gonzales person forever and a citizen forever. So thank y'all, and hope to see y'all again. Thank y'all.
I'd like for Mr. Marty Hydell to stand up, please. Buzzy's dad is here tonight.
Yes. Can you see it? Yes, I can. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more.
Even see little Dennis?
All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. I'm gonna have there late. I'm gonna do this first.
Next, we'll get to item number 6, our parish president's report. President Martinez.
Next, I'd like to have Leadership Ascension and Sherry come up. Last year, during Hurricane Gustav, we had a lot of calls at the call center for people that were running low on oxygen, and actually some of them were in dire straits, and we didn't have any way to get it to them other than having the fire department deliver it. So Leadership Ascension took on a project, and we got a trailer now. And we filled it up with oxygen bottles, and now we can be mobile, and we can service our people in the event of any kind of catastrophe that need oxygen. So I'm sure it's going to save a lot of people's lives. We are deeply appreciative of what you did in that project. Hopefully it can inspire others in the next class. This was something that we really touched on, and it'll be a benefit to those people who need it. Anyway, the certificate of appreciation. This certificate is hereby awarded to Leadership Ascension. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate to the Ascension Chamber of Commerce and wonderful people who participate in Leadership Ascension. We join with Council Chairman Pat Bell and the entire Parish Council in thanking you for what you do each year to improve the quality of life in Ascension Parish. Chair, thank you.
On behalf of Leadership Ascension, and especially this project team, I accept this on their behalf, but I can tell you, every year, Leadership Ascension just does such an outstanding job. But last year, I feel like the one sitting behind you kind of went a little above and beyond their call of duty. They saw a need in our parish, and it was really funny because we had a Leadership Ascension class today, and I had a few people come and talk about their projects from last year, and this one lady made a statement, and she said, you know, when you're a part of something that impacts our parish, and from what I can understand, there are other parishes now looking at this project because we have something no one else in the state has. So not only impacts your parish, but could possibly impact your state, maybe other states. You just have no idea. So to be a part of something that you start with that can be so small, but can end up to be so big. I mean, what a wonderful legacy to carry for them and our Leadership Ascension program. So on behalf of Leadership Ascension, on behalf of our Chamber of Commerce, on behalf of the Board of Directors, I would like to thank them for the outstanding job that they did last year. And I would just like to thank all of you, and thank you, President Martinez and Councilman Bell, for giving us this honor. So thank you very, very much.
While I'm up here, we have another guest, Secretary of DQ, Harold Leggett. We talked about getting some money from DQ for tour programming. I think he's here tonight to give us some official good news. We talked about it, but proud to say that it's been a special week and special night in Ascension, and Harold's here to give us some more good news. So Harold, I'd like to introduce you to the council and ask you to come up and tell us what we got.
What the good news?
We started with $12 million, but after a few rounds, we negotiated up. So.
From the council, I guess, and citizens, Mr. President, it really is an honor to come here today. I go do this across the state a lot. Most folks are afraid when DEQ comes. Say, you know, it's like, oh, what did I do? You know, so I know the sheriff was here a little while ago, so he's making sure we stay in line. But let me tell you an observation from tonight before I do the really good part. I go to a lot of these meetings, and you're the only ones here. When I come here and I see what's going on, I see people in the audience, and I see children in the audience, and I see performances like I heard tonight, I see Coach Maneri here, it tells me a lot about what's going on in Ascension. And that's important, because we only have so many resources to give away or loan out. And we struggle real hard with who gets the most and how much we give out. And what we try to do is I'm an old business guy, so it's what's the best return on investment. And I think the money that we're going to be awarding to Ascension Parish is a very good return on investment. So it really pleases me to come here today after being beat up a lot by Parish President, by Councilman Bell. I don't see Mr. Amity and Mr. Mariano here, but I can assure you, you've had a good coalition of folks helping me to remind me how active and what you have going on in Ascension Parish. But what made my decision real easy was there's a vision down here. You have a vision of what you want your parish to be like, of how you want to grow. And as you've heard Governor General talk a lot about, you know, we have to constantly provide jobs, good jobs, for our people. When I'm Secretary of DEQ, some folks say, well, that's kind of in a conflict, and I say, no, it's not. It's because I believe you can have both. I believe you can have a growing, energetic economy and a good environment. I actually believe they go together. The better your economy is, the better your environment is. And I think when I ride around Ascension Parish, I see a lot of that. I see a lot of the positive of that. So again, it's a real pleasure for me to come down here and talk about awarding us. You're going to get no small amount of money, but $18 million will come to the parish. and hopefully much more. Now, you know, the parish president kept beating me up trying to get me to 23. You know, we went back and forth for a while, but 18 we'll get you started on the path, we hope, and as we get more money, we hope we'll be able to award you more. Because it's important, again, to recognize what you're doing. And again, it's taking your leadership, the community's leadership, you know, everybody together. It makes the decision for the department very easy. So again, excited about what I see down here. Congratulations to you as a parish. Many of the folks who work for us live down here too. So it's matter of fact, my assistant secretary, Ms. Nolan, is one of your residents, and she's here tonight to visit with y'all. So again, congratulations to you. We are DEQ, but it's okay to call us. We can help sometimes. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Also an assistant. The guy does all the work.
Yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate it. Basically, it does get us started. We can actually start building the plant now. And hopefully we can piggyback this with other funds and work with other companies to make this become a reality. Just this week, I started getting some letters from people that got letters from your office about certain projects, and Biomanufacturing being one. I know that recently y'all have lowered the amount of
What can go into the plant.
yes, or affluence, whatever can go into it, and I see that trend coming, and I know that you talked about starting there and then coming down to you the next and on, and you've been through Tangible, Livingston, and so working its way down, and we certainly do need your help, and we appreciate what you've done, and we look forward to working with you, and he's a gentleman to talk to. So he really, he means it when he says to call him personally. He will take your call, and he will work with you. So, Harold, thank you.
Thank you.
The meetings that I was with, President Martin was in Baton Rouge, and one thing that struck me about it, keeping me all things going. Ascension Parish, how many ladies work with the most pro-active parish in some way. They'll tell me that all the time.
See, I'll now use y'all's example to beat up other
That's
parents.
exactly what I think that's quite a compliment.
I mean, that's again, my goal is to use good folks and say, here's the example of positive. And to just give you an order of magnitude, we had $770 million in requests.
Right.
I only had $150 million to loan. And so, as you can imagine how tough that was to choose y'all, but again, at the end of the day, it was very easy to give money to Ascension Parish. So thank y'all and congratulations. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, sir. Next, Councilman, our consent agenda, and I had told everyone previous before the meeting, remove item 7G, number 2. The punch list is not complete.
Motion
I'll need a motion. I have a motion by Councilman Thompson, second by Councilman Randy Cluart. Any objection? Any discussion? Motion carries. Let's see. Item 8, Martha Collins, please. General business. Grant application approval.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, President Martinez. I'm here tonight to ask permission to apply for the 2009-2010 Louisiana, excuse me, I got to put my glasses on, Government Assistant Program. This is the program that used to be the rural development. We are entitled to apply for up to $100,000. And this is also where it's offered to the municipalities. So we'd like to ask for a resolution to apply for this.
Moved by Councilman Oliver Joseph, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. In discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
ma'am. Planning and zoning recommendations, Mr. Ricky Compton.
Zoning Review ID 2023.09, Lamarck Incorporated, located on the north side of Cornerview Road, approximately 100 feet west of Kling Road, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium-intensity residential RM to mixed use. Zoning Commission recommended denial of this zoning amendment to accept or deny.
I make a motion, we accept the recommendation from the zoning.
A motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen.
A second.
That was second by Councilman Todd Lambert. In discussion?
Question.
Yes.
Discussion.
Councilman Valentine.
Ricky, did the staff have a recommendation on this? I didn't read it.
The staff recommendation followed what the the zoning commission recommended in that it's adjacent to a non-conforming use. When we looked at the zoning maps, we did not find that that was a piece of property that should be zoned commercial or mixed use, and therefore the staff recommended that it not be rezoned.
Okay, I guess my question would be, it's got a business on the side of it, ranches, and the other side is the interstate. So what would you think, in your opinion, is going to be built there in one day? You think someone's going to build a house there?
I think that it's our opinion that someday the business next door will go away, and that will all turn into residential.
Okay. And then there's a larger business down, waste management, which further down the road, which they're in the same situation.
Right, and it's a situation where if the council wants us to direct us to go out and look at non-conforming sites to rezone them, we can do that. But at this time, we have a lot of non-conforming sites in the parish. We're not actively going out and trying to rezone those because when the original zoning map was done, it was declared that should be a residential area. So, I mean, it's our recommendation based on the existing zoning map. When we get through with the master plan and we have a future land use map, maybe they say Cornerview should be a commercial corridor. I don't think they're going to say that. But if they do, the future land use map will depict that, and then we'll have a reason why we should rezone those properties to commercial. But right now, it's a residential area
Right.
by zoning.
And that's the basic reason why the planning and zoning did what they did.
Correct.
Following that.
Through council. Any more discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Ricky. Next, we move into our ordinance, introduction of an ordinance authorizing and providing for the incurring of debt, sale, and issuance of public improvement, refunding bonds, Series ST-2009, in an aggregate principal amount of $8,920,000 of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, Sales Tax District Number 2.
Motion to introduce the ordinance.
Have a motion introduced by Councilman Chris
Second.
Lohr, second by Councilman Randy Kluart.
Discussion.
Discussion?
I'd like to,
Just one point.
Councilman Lohr?
just wanted to just refresh everyone's memory on this. We came to the Finance Committee first in April, authorizing our bond team, who is here tonight, to explain this a little bit more if we have questions, but authorizing $350,000 savings threshold. Then when the market kind of tanked during the summer and everything, it looked like we weren't going to be able to save that much, so we lowered that to $200,000. Pleased to report that the hard work of the bond team, and we were able to save $357,000, which actually exceeds what we originally planned. And the other just point I want to mention, part of the reason I think that we were able to get such a good return is because we had a AA rating, a AA minus rating, excuse me, which is extremely rare. There's not that many parishes in the state, and I don't know if you guys have ever been through that process with a corporation or anything like that, but basically they look at all your financial management practices, and it's a testament to our financial stewardship and leadership on that front. So I'll turn it over to the bond team if they want to comment further on.
I would just for a point of order, on the agenda, under the introduction ordinance, it talks about refunding or bonding $8.92 million, and because of the fact that it worked out that we got some bonds to be sold at a premium, which is a good thing, that amount has now been reduced to $8.8 million. So we just need to amend the agenda to reflect that.
And I believe that the ordinance you have in your packet says in the paragraph 8.8 million, I think it's just.
Motion to amend.
Have a motion by Councilman Randy Cluott.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is amended.
Mr. Lohr, I would just add to your comments, thank you for the compliments on the work of the bond team, but as you indicated, I think there's a lot of kudos that go to the parish council, the administration, the accounting department, Ms. LeBlanc, Mr. Rott. On the conference call we had with Standard & Poor's, one of the very things they were extremely impressed with was the fact that you all reduced your expenditures in your budget last year, the fact that your sales tax are relatively low in this area. Very pleased with the whole position of the parish, so I can't take that much credit for it as I can the council and the work that you all are doing with your budget and continue to do. So you all deserve as much of that credit for that savings as we do, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim, Malcolm, Ted. Thank all of y'all. Moving to our public hearing ordinances, reading of our ordinance. Ms. Lindsay Manna, please.
Purpose, to amend Chapter 22 of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances to add articles and sections implementing provisions for a program of traffic enforcement by the use of photographic evidence and the imposition of civil penalties. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council finds that there has been a high incidence of drivers disregarding or running red lights at street intersections, and whereas the Ascension Parish Council finds red light running endangers motor vehicle operators and pedestrians alike by decreasing the efficiency of traffic control and traffic flow efforts, and by increasing the number of serious traffic crashes to which public safety agencies must respond at the expense of the taxpayers. And whereas the Ascension Parish Council finds a reduction in the running of red lights through a program utilizing photographic evidence and enforcement through the imposition of civil penalties will help promote and protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the Parish of Ascension. And whereas the Ascension Parish Council, operating under the powers granted to it by a Home Rule Charter, has the power and authority to establish a program of enforcement of red light running by the use of photographic evidence and the imposition of civil penalties. Now therefore be it ordained by the Parish Council of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, that Chapter 22 of the Code of Ordinances of the Parish of Ascension, Louisiana, is hereby amended and supplemented by adding a section entitled Electronic Enforcement, which article is attached hereto and made a part hereof as Exhibit A.
I'll need a motion to open public hearing, please. Motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Second by Councilman Adrian Thompson. Anyone wish to speak on this item, please come forward. You'll be allotted 3 minutes.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Councilman Oliver Joseph.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. I'll need a motion to approve the ordinance.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, I have several questions. I don't know, I want to address it to maybe the sheriff or Mr. President. I guess the first one is, I've been doing a little background on this, and the study shows that some of these cameras that's getting put in actually does not, yeah, Mr. Sheriff, yeah, please come up. I'm hearing that the cameras that they put in some parishes are actually causing more accidents at first because of some rear, people are coming to a camera, they see a camera, they hit their brakes, the people behind them hit them, and we're having some rear end accidents. We're having more, accidents instead of being safer. We're having a few issues there. That was one of the questions. And I guess I'm hearing also that several other parishes are signing petitions to remove the cameras after they're being installed. They're having a lot of issues with them. That's two of the questions that, if you have any background on any of that, or have you hearing?
And I'll yield to Colonel Robert on some of the details too, and maybe the vendor in the audience. Regarding the rear end escalating, I don't know there's data that supports that.
Okay.
I'm unaware of it, Todd, and
Okay.
I'll yield to others. I am aware of over an extended period of time, 7 to 10 years, those cities that have instituted this, they have seen just the opposite. Now, if you look at a year or two, and this concept is new, relatively new to this area. All right, Baton Rouge, I think, is maybe a year and a half old, and we're embarking in it, should the council so desire. But what in sustained existence results in is reduction in accidents, an absolute reduction in traffic violations. We know that. So I don't know, I mean, I'll yield to somebody in the audience if there's any data that supports an increase in rear-end collisions. I'm unaware of it.
Okay.
Second question was, some parishes that are in it wanting to get out. I'm unaware of that. We're all aware of our neighboring parish and the fiascos that we've heard about and saw in Livingston Parish regarding, it was the speed cameras that created so much controversy and news, not the photo enforcement red lights. I said it before at the, I think it was the Strategic Planning Committee, and I'll say it again in front of the viewing audience and you as this legislative body. On my watch, we will not move in that direction of speed enforcement cameras. We will not. It's different. It's the model that we have, Mr. Lambert, is there's just absolutely no doubt that that vehicle committed a violation of running a red light. Not an amber light, not red when you get under it. Red light that the driver can see, and red light that the driver goes through. Our goal is, I know there's nobody speaking from the audience about this, but there'll be some interest.
Yeah.
Particularly when the mailboxes, should you vote on it, particularly when folks get these, and I would suggest that it would be likely that you'll get some calls and I'll get some calls. Our goal is that that our methodology, our quality control on it, that there would never be an appeal. It is screened at the company. It is sent to us. The sheriff's office screens it. Colonel Robert will have designated traffic specialists that will screen the video and the still photos. At that time, there will be a letter sent out, the letter that you don't want. It will be showing you the picture, the snapshot, and referring you to a website. In the event that the individual receiving this citation, and it's a civil citation, by the way, it's important to reiterate that. This does not affect your driving record. It's not one of these that people have concerns about getting those dreaded speeding tickets and what have you that carry on your driving record and affect your insurance premium. But if they have a problem or a question, we will be there to meet with them in person. They may not have computers. They may challenge the notion of it, and we will be ready, willing, and able to sit down with them. If all of our best efforts fail on full disclosure and cooperation with them, then they will have an appeal process, Mr. Lambert, that will include our district attorney and our parish court. It's a new endeavor. I'll say it again, as I said at the committee meeting. It has changed my driving in Baton Rouge. I don't know about you, but it has. Not that I would run red lights, but you have that presence. At Sherwood and 61, I know I'm real careful when I go through that creative invention of traffic circle. All right. So we would like this to be clearly to make our intersections safer. The statute, the ordinance speaks to the dedication of the funds, does it not? Yes. Yes. And from our side, we're not going to supplant funding. This will be additional funding for us to put deputies, traffic deputies, on the road to accommodate your constituents who are every day, many times a day, calling us and emailing us. And a gentleman tonight asked me, in this room, asked me, man, could you get your deputies out on such and such road because we have speeders out there. So this is just one more component of our traffic enforcement.
So you're all for it?
Yes, sir.
100%?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One other question I had today brought to me is the state sent something out that they're going to be putting a halt on putting cameras on their equipment until further study has been done. Maybe it might take next year before it's completed.
Well,
and I guess is what I'm saying is,
yes.
Is this premature of moving on this if the state is not going to allow it anymore? So I guess that's one of my questions.
Well, my opinion is no, it's not premature.
Okay.
I mean, I'd yield to the wisdom of you and the staff here. Yes, I'm aware of Dr. Ankner, who is the
DOTD.
secretary. I don't know that he's discussed one time with any law enforcement agency head this topic. I don't know that he's discussed one time with any parish government head about this. I know that he sent out a heat-seeking missile letter that basically said that local government is, I concluded and translated, interpreted as, we're not capable of doing these things in a correct fashion, so he was going to appoint a committee to study this, and I think it said January 2010, which is just right around the corner. I'm skeptical about that, quite frankly, and I responded to him candidly, and I told him this. I didn't tell him directly. I would have loved to have been able to. That here's DOT telling local government, you can't do this. Now, it's already out, and it is tried and true in many other communities that are doing this now. Tried and true. And once again, there's data that violations are decreased. Absolutely, there's hard data. There's hard data that crashes are reduced on an extended period of time. We don't have an extended period of time in Louisiana. If you'd asked me that, I'd told you. All right. But I do have to tell you, I'm a little taken back that the DOT secretary would take issue with local government, be it this group or me, when your DOT, your DPW, better said, and my deputy, we're doing a whole lot of work on those state highways. Right. A whole lot of work. Indeed, there's a lot of projects you're doing on state highway. And for us to enter into a pre-existing concept that has been successful without, and he not having the, I'm going to say, Curtis, to maybe get the facts, because the letter I can show you factual errors in the letter. So I'm glad you asked me about that. You can tell that I'm a little disappointed in the lack of wholesome communication on that issue.
Appreciate it, Sheriff.
You'll see a deputy at the red lights when they break, when they malfunction.
Yeah.
DOT red lights. You'll see deputies there.
That's correct.
State highways.
Ascension
You'll
Parish
see deputies. Thank you. I better be quiet.
Councilman Thompson.
Sheriff, you think it would be pretty good if we would send a letter from this board to DOTD, a resolution requesting that we move forward with our project in Ascension Parish?
I appreciate the notion. I'm thinking maybe that may be something that staff might want you to do. I think at this time, let's let the thing unfold. We're not going to be out the gate that quick anyway. And the only thing in the letter that made sense to me was he said January 2010, which is, not that far away. Okay. There were several bills, Council. There were several bills in this past legislature. Connect the dots. That DOT wanted to piggyback whatever revenue can be made on this. None of those bills passed. Lo and behold, it's a bad idea.
Councilman Lohr.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Sheriff. I've spent a lot of time studying this, got a lot of emails from folks. A lot of folks kind of, are obviously emotional about it. It is kind of a sensitive thing. And I'm glad to hear the Sheriff say we're not going to go in the direction of speed cameras. That's something I absolutely will never support. I think that does kind of cross that line there. But everything I've seen, and I did see some of the studies that Councilman Lambert mentioned at the beginning there, when these camera systems were first implemented, I think there were some issues with rear-end crashes increasing because they had issues with getting the settings right between the signal and the camera and all of that kind of stuff. But overwhelmingly, the data that I saw, and there was another article actually in 225 magazine recently, a big article about Baton Rouge's experience, and so that and some other things. Overwhelmingly, the data that I saw really does show that it reduces T-bone crashes and severe accidents. And to me, that's one of those things. I mean, you're talking about saving people's lives, and I think about some close calls I've had personally, and I know some friends who've been in some pretty serious wrecks and people running red lights, and this actually does change driver behavior for the better, and it's something that that I'm absolutely going to support.
Councilman Cluard.
Yeah, I've gotten calls from folks that gave me the same type of information that Todd just did, and that's what I was going to say, the same thing. But I've also checked with people in 2 other parishes where the cameras are. Matter of fact, one of the parishes has a large municipality that has speeding cameras. But and I talked to the law enforcement officials there. I said, what does this do for you? And I've talked to some of the local guys here. One thing it does for them is the hardest thing for them to do is patrol a red light. And if they happen to be moving and they catch somebody run a red light, they stop them. But usually what happens with a red light run is an accident. And the cameras that they felt, the guys I've talked to, I talked to about 5 guys in 4 parishes. One of them didn't have much use for it, but the other 4 felt like that during their investigation of incident investigations, accident investigations, that the cameras would be a great thing. That there's a lot of dispute after the cars are crashed and moved around on the road, you know. No, it wasn't red, I had the green light and all this good stuff. And so, also we have another thing, Sheriff, you'd brought up, and Robert, y'all talked about in strategic planning about there's a mode of this thing to possibly help in some type of Amber Alert or something like that. You want to expand on that, Paul?
Yeah, the first point you made about us being able to access the video is really an important point from a law enforcement perspective, that video of that intersection is archived. And for a determined amount of time, at least like a month, we can go back and access that archive. Like you said, if we have a bad accident or crash, we can go back and pull it, see exactly what happened. If we have a robbery, we can go back and pull it and see what cars went through that intersection, you know, a major crime or something. There's actually been, in other jurisdictions, major crimes have been caught on the video, homicides and stuff in Houston, actually have video of the shooting going on, so that's a benefit. Also, they're working on a new part of it that may become, you know, available not too distant future, is a license plate recognition, where it actually recognizes license plates as it goes through the intersection, and if we have an Amber Alert or a BOLO, look out for a homicide suspect, in the future we may be able to put that license plate in, and it'll actually, the minute it goes through an intersection, we'll get an alert that vehicle went through there. So in addition to the, you know, the safety aspect, cutting down on these crashes, there's also some other benefits. We'll have access to that real-time video and also archived video to be able to see that. And again, you know, during storms and stuff like that, we can use it to monitor intersections, see how the traffic's doing, have real-time video of the intersection to see how the traffic's flowing and all. So there really is some additional benefits in addition to the primary purpose is, you know, to cut down on the red light running.
Thank you.
Councilman Schick-Snyder.
Thank you. And I want to thank the Sheriff's Office for all the hard work they've done. One of the questions that we've got, just to let everybody get an idea, Sheriff, is how many intersections, you know, where do you pick and why?
I think, well,
what are people going to be expecting?
Right. If and when this is approved, the first thing ATS, the vendor, will do, they'll got data from us on the major intersections we have crashes at. You know, we already compiled that list and we're looking at it. They'll go out and actually monitor and do test sites at intersections and monitor, you know, how much traffic they have, how much red light running they have at these intersections. And when they complete those studies, we'll go back, look at crash data, the incidence of red light running, traffic volume, and make a decision on what lights we think we ought to, you know, proceed with would be most beneficial.
And you know, is it 2, 5, 10?
I don't think we ever had a set number, Sheriff, but I think we had talked about maybe starting off like with 5.
Okay.
5 intersections.
That gives you an idea.
Goes with that.
And once again, it won't be our call. It will be based on measurable statistical data.
So you're looking to get the dangerous intersections that's having the traffic and bring the safety down,
yeah.
Right?
Like Lucian 44 where there's no red light.
Yeah.
Councilman Cullen.
I know Randy and I travel the same parishes with those red lights in them, and they sent a picture of me to it, so I know it changes your driving habits. So I can tell you right now, it works.
Councilman Joseph.
Yeah. Sheriff, these cameras will only be put in the parish intersection, no city or municipality. Okay. I just had a couple phone calls.
City government to wrestle with
President Martinez.
Yeah, I think the key component of all this is safety, and I mean, we all ride around this parish. We don't have any roads system here. We all working together. We're making progress. It's not going to happen overnight. Anything that we can do to make our intersections safer, we need to do it. If it saves one life, it's worth it. You know, if you don't break the law, you don't have anything to worry about. So this is a deterrent, hopefully. I don't even go on Sherwood Forest anymore, Sheriff, just to let you know. I don't pass that way. I kind of go around. But
Take the loop, huh?
It definitely does change your attitude, and it makes you think. If any of you want to have fun, just go sit down at any intersection on the airline where they got a red light and just sit there and watch how many people run a red light. It's just amazing. And if you're not a defensive driver, you're going to get hit at some point. I'm not in a hurry anymore. I just stop at the intersection, I watch, and I look both ways, and then I go across. So I don't think you'll see me on any of those cameras. But I wholeheartedly support the concept and the idea, and I think we need to move forward, even though it's going to take time to implement all this. It's not too early. We probably, you know, hopefully if we can get the clearance and the permits from DOTD in January, that's great. But if not, we'll look at other options here in the parish. We'll do what we have to do.
And we may, the point that Councilman Thompson said, we may need to muster forces, may be premature. It's my understanding that DOT's full and total burden is to go out and observe for a very short period of time the vendor doing what they need to do. That's it. And my last point is, they can get in my business as long as if I can get out of their business, they get out of mine. You know, we're all in this thing together, and anyway, I'm sorry.
Councilman Kluart.
Yeah, just real quick, even the proponents, the opponents of this, you know, you got certain people that they don't want to be caught.
Sure.
They don't want to get that letter like you're talking about. But one of the main things about that, you know, everybody basically is good at heart, and at the end of the day, they want good things to come of whatever happens with the money that they're sending out in their check, whether it's a tax or whether it's a ticket, whatever it is. And I guess one of the clear things that the people have talked to me about is, hey, where's the money going? And that's, you know, where's the money going? Within this ordinance, I think we got it broke down, and we know that there's, right off the top, there's a fee for the company that has to, we just recap this, whoever didn't see strategic planning in the last meeting, whatever. Sure. Recap this, that there's a fee for the company that is going to be hired, the contractor, because they bear all the burden of all expenses of all equipment for that. Then there's whatever's left, and what somebody can quote exact percentages.
You want the breakdown?
Yes, give me the breakdown, and let me just close with this, and you can go ahead and give the breakdown, recap the breakdown, is the fact that everybody, whether you're going to get it, the sheriff's office, Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, whether Ascension Parish government's going to get it, they want the money to go toward you getting it, do something with traffic control with your money. Parish government, we're getting it, do something to help transportation, help the traffic in that area, you know. So that's basically what they're looking for at the end of the day.
I agree. You know, this is kind of like medicine. You know, sometimes it doesn't taste good, but it can help out. All right. We gave this a lot of thought. Colonel Robert and I did, and I met with Mr. Martinez and staff. If it means anything at all, we're suggesting and offering that it be the cheapest ticket in town. It's $95. The Baton Rouge model is $117. Others are maybe up to $125 and $130. It's broke down as this: the vendor will get a percentage. The highest percentage they will get is 40 or so %. It goes down with the, quite frankly, with the issuance of tickets and whatever revenue is resulting thereof. And that's in the contract. I mean, it's self-evident. I don't know the exact numbers, but they do exist. The remainder from the after the vendors share, and once again, Ken is right, or whoever said it, they do it all. They come in and set up shop. So, and then we do it on the back end. We take care of things on the back end. Once they take their share as explicitly defined in the contract, then 50% of the remainder will go to your sheriff's office. That is for several things. One is for the personnel that are going to do the quality control on the actually it's the second phase of it. ATS will be doing it on the front side. And 40% will go to parish government. 5% will go to the district attorney's office in the event they are needed for appeal process, and 5% will go to parish court for the same rationale. Maybe, Councilman Kluwat, maybe this is something that we can do together, is that maybe we do an annual accounting. Something that, as you wrestle with the vote tonight, and maybe we just, your sheriff at least will set aside a report that I would submit to you about the revenue and what we did with that revenue, as opposed to it just going in a general budget fund that may get absorbed in many, many ways. I would be prepared to do that and be willing to do that.
Thank you, and I would think that the parish government would be prepared to do the same thing with their share.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Lower.
Well, I was just going to make the same point really about the funding. This is, I'm sure many of you would not be supporting this, and I know I certainly wouldn't be if we weren't dedicating this funds to traffic improvements and intersection safety improvements. I know Councilman Todd Lambert mentioned last time about the intersection problem on 431. I know Representative Smiley's working
People in
hard.
Santa Monica running red lights.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, this is the kind of stuff where we can actually use some of that funds and maybe, you know, give some seed money to get those projects going. So as far as coming to the council and all that kind of stuff, that'd be great, actually, Sheriff. We could maybe make it an item on the finance, a yearly item on the Finance Committee agenda. We could kind of do an overall cost accounting and make the public aware of what's going on with the money. So, thanks.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, Chris kind of stole, but basically that's, you know, we talked about dedicating for intersection improvements, and it is a little broad in the ordinance, but I would say let's stick to it and let's use that money for our intersection improvements.
Okay. Councilman Oliver Joseph.
Yes. The contract with the contractor, how long that is for? I mean, for the equipment.
We're still in the process of reviewing the contract, but I believe they proposed an initial, was it 10-year? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Councilman Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, thank you all again for the safety, bringing out the safety and the Amber Alert. And in the beginning, I think it was 5 cameras. We didn't have any locations, but it was 5 cameras that we would look at in the beginning.
That's still
I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And quite frankly, it hasn't taken shape yet because this is the next logical step before, you know, they start gathering data.
And the other thing I think was mentioned that we're going to let people know where they're at.
Yes,
we're not trying to hide them. It's not going to be a trap or anything. We certainly want to let people know that at these intersections, there's a camera.
Part of the vendor service is to assist us in the public awareness. The whole idea, it bears repeating, the whole idea here is to prevent major crashes at intersections. Along the way, there'll be citations given, and there'll be violations committed.
Any more discussion, Councilman? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Sheriff Wiley, Colonel Robert, thank y'all for your efforts, sirs. Ms. Lindsay, number 14.
Purpose, to revoke the 30-foot servitude of access along the eastern sideline of Lot 113 of 12 Oaks, 4th filing. Part 1 is shown on the final plat of 12 Oaks, 4th filing, Part 1, prepared by Ferris Engineering and Surveying, Inc., Ronald K. Ferris, P.E.P.L.S., dated May 8, 2002, and revised through June 6, 2005. The subject servitude is referenced on said plat as existing 30-foot servitude of access. The portion of the servitude to be revoked commences at the north right-of-way line of Kenner Drive and runs in a northerly direction contiguous with and parallel to the eastern sideline of Lot 113 to the southern limit of the existing 30-foot servitude of access, which runs parallel to and contiguous with the northern or rear boundary line of Lot 113. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council as the governing authority for the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, in lawful session, it is hereby revoked that 30-foot servitude of access commencing at the northern right-of-way line of Kenner Drive and running in a northerly direction contiguous with and parallel to the eastern sideline of Lot 113 and terminating at the southern limit of the existing 30-foot servitude of access, which runs parallel to and contiguous with the northern or rear boundary line of Lot 113. All other public servitudes affecting said property are hereby reserved.
A motion to open public hearing, Councilman Denson Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Anyone wish to speak on this item, please come forward. You'll be allotted 3 minutes.
Motion to close.
Motion closed by Councilman Oliver Joseph.
Second.
Second by Councilman Chris Lower. I need a motion to approve the ordinance, please. Motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Councilman, before we get to Councilman Todd Lambert, I'd like to thank tonight Lester Kenyon for his super work. Deputy Eric Wagonsback in the back of the room. Thank you, sir. Councilman Lambert.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
Motion adjourned. Second by Councilman Chris Lower.